Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. The message of this video is to not let your life be ruled by fear. Don't let your daily actions, don't let the things you say, don't let the way you conduct yourself be through a lens of fear. Obviously, having a little bit of healthy fear now and then is totally normal, right? Thinking things through before you take a certain action or before you do something is a totally normal, healthy thing to do. But what I'm referring to in this video is to not let that emotion stop you from taking action. How many of your daily actions are being filtered through this lens of fear? That's no way to live your life. Constantly just basing your decisions and all the things you do because you're scared or because of you fear a certain outcome is no way to live, right? You're always going to be playing it safe, and to a degree, yes, your life is not going to get too bumpy to a certain degree, but in reality, in the long term, if you live your life this way, the consequences of living your life this way are going to pile up, right? So yeah, sure, in the short term and maybe even in the long term for a little bit of time, right, you might avoid any negative consequences, but honestly, who would like to live their way like that, or live their life that way, right? Just constantly comfortable, not taking any decisive action, just kind of cruising through life. I don't know about you, but personally, I wouldn't like to live a life like that, right? Just think about, the top 5 things in your life right now that you've been putting off. Or think about some things that you really want to do, but you've been making up just excuse after excuse as to why you can't do that, or as to why you can't do that, right? As to why you should put that off for later, right? Later, that's such an infamous word, right? Putting it off later and procrastinating. But life is short, guys, and you got to grab life by the horns, or else life is gonna stomp on you, basically. You got to take life by the horns, and you got to be proactive. Otherwise, like I said, life has this way of pushing you around and ragdolling you if you don't put that energy into your life, right? So again, make a list of 5 things that you've been putting off in your life, things that you really want to do, things that you should be doing, and make it your goal to start confronting those things, right? Obviously, you don't have to do all things at once unless you're super ambitious, but at the other side of fear is an emotion that is almost undescribable, right? This feeling of euphoria, almost, of just courage combined with energy, combined with positive emotions. I think that's just life and your body thanking you for being brave, right? Just try it out. Do something that really scares you, right? Within reason. I'm not suggesting anything within the bounds of, or out of the bounds of reason, right? I'm not saying that you should dive headfirst into the ocean if you're scared of the ocean, right? Or if you're scared of sharks, to go swim with sharks. I'm not referring to any sort of stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, if you're scared of, for example, going to the gym, make it your goal to join a gym by the end of the week, right? Start small, and you'll see how this compounds and just snowballs into much bigger things, right? Having the courage to take action and just start taking those few first steps will give you the courage to take even bigger action, right? It's all about momentum. So again, don't let your life be ruled by fear. You don't want to be old and look back on your 20s, on your 30s, or however young you are, and say, man, I should have done this, I could have done that, right? But I didn't. That would be the worst feeling in the world, right? Obviously, I think everybody has a few things that as they get older, they regret, or they would have liked to do. I mean, I don't think it's impossible to kind of escape that emotion, but you should, at least in my opinion, try to strive for it as much as possible, right? Just go for it, because life is short. Like I said, nobody's promised tomorrow, so don't put things off for tomorrow. Do it today, and just start taking action, right? Be brave and have faith that things will work out, and you'll see how life rewards you for that, right? It's not going to work out 100% of the time, but you'll see that most of the times that you act in accordance with this, I guess, principle, right? With just having courage and having energy for life and just going for it, the reality is that in most cases, right, you're rewarded for being brave. So if you made it this far in the video, hopefully something that I mentioned is of use to you, right? I just wanted to share my thoughts on this topic because life is tough. Life is tough for everybody, but there are things that are holding us back, whether we may be aware of them or not, right? For example, for me, I was putting off a big decision, right? Thinking about all the possible scenarios that could happen, but in reality, things are a lot simpler than we make it out to be in our heads, right? In reality, the situation that I was going through is a lot simpler, and there's actually a lot of options for me when it comes to a certain decision that I had been putting off, right? And in the long run and in the short term, it's going to be a lot better for me. But again, those thoughts start creeping in, right? Those thoughts of what if, those little fears start whispering in your ear, and you start paying attention to those things, and you don't see the bigger picture. So again, be courageous and just take action, and you'll see that life rewards you for it. Thank you to all the subscribers of this channel. Thank you to all the viewers of this channel. If there's a certain video topic that you would like to, that you would like me to talk about, if there's a certain issue, whether it be in self-improvement or life advice or anything in general that you would like me to talk about, just let me know in the comments. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.